Well, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Hey, I was going to tell you that when I started beekeeping, I started with one hive that we cut out of a fallen tree. That's how I got started. And I got the beekeeping bug. Leave a comment if you've ever gotten the beekeeping bug. I mean, you just can't get enough of it, right? Well, I had one hive my first year. And then I think my second year, I decided to expand, which for me was getting two packages. And so kind of growing slowly like that. And I remember as I continued to grow, it was probably my, I don't know, third or fourth year. Don't quote me, I can't remember anymore. Too old. But it seems like maybe my third or fourth year, I decided to buy an enormous amount of packages for me. And I can't remember exactly how many I bought. It seems like it was either 20 or 40. 40 stands out. 40 packages stands out. And so I decided that I would get 40 packages. I was expanding my beekeeping journey, new beekeeper, hadn't been doing it long, I don't think. And I remember I went down south to buy packages and I put them all in the back of my pickup truck. I was just kind of still a brand new beekeeper. I know brand new sounds like first year, but you can be a 1-year beekeeper over the course of keeping bees for 5 years if every year you lose those bees and you start over and you do the same thing. You're just a 1-year beekeeper. You've done it the same thing for 5 years. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of the way I was back then, I think. So I was a new beekeeper. It was the end of March, and Sherry and I drove down to pick these packages up. I ordered them. And back then, I don't think, gosh, was there the internet? If there was an internet, I don't think this company was on it, maybe. But no, we had to do everything by telephone, mail order, something like that. And we coordinated, going down there and getting those packages. And I was like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. I think I built all my equipment, so I had plenty of boxes and hives to put them all in. So Sherry and I drove down there. It seemed like we had one of our children with us, but I don't remember which one. Oops, that's noisy. And so I went ahead and brought them home end of March. Now, some of you may live in, different places. You don't understand what it's like to live in Illinois, but March is still kind of early in Illinois to work on packages. I remember, those of you that live in, the Midwest, for example, did you ever have a time when you were younger and you saw snow in April? Of course, it was very common to get snows in the month of April in Illinois. It's still common, but you don't see it as often. Maybe this year we will. And I remember I was a junior higher in Illinois. I went to Crestwood in Paris, Illinois for junior high because I lived out in the country. And I remember we were doing track practicing running, I was in track, junior high. And we had a track meet cancel in the month of April because of snow. And I remember another time, the first week in May, when we had an event going on in another organization I was with, and it snowed so hard that event just couldn't be pulled off in the month of May. So now I'm getting these packages way back in the month of March because, March is a month here where it kind of fools you. So I got these 40 packages home and I installed them all, looking at the weather, thinking, okay, it's cooling off. I was like, oh no, it wasn't supposed to do this. I'd studied the Farmer's Almanac. I had studied all the forecast models coming up as much as was available back then, and I thought I could pull this off. And I installed all those packages, and I want to tell you how many of them died. It was shocking. I was just too new at it, I guess, to not realize that when it's really cold outside, and you install packages, they can perish. And so anyway, I wouldn't have thought they would have. It was 10,000 bees. That's what comes in a package, 3 pounds of honeybees, and it's one mated queen in her own cage, right? Now, I put those in, and it was so cold that night, I can't remember the temperature, might have dipped down into the teens. I don't think it was single digits. So I went back out there the next day, or maybe when I was supposed to. I think they told you to wait a couple of days, but I went out there as soon as I could to check on them, and 20 of those packages had died. Half of them, 50%. And I didn't have a lot of money. I was really, really poor back then. And I think I received, I can't remember, maybe that's when my dad died. No, I got nukes. I got a little money when my dad died, so I bought some nukes with him. But I don't know where I got the money for the packages. I probably put it on a credit card, back then. Oh gosh, so poor. So they didn't really die. I think maybe I lost 2 or 3 of them that were just stone cold dead, but I lost 20 queens. So when I went back to check on them, the queens were in their cages dead. And that's the thing about, you think, well, why would that happen? Because, by the way, we're going to work on this box, and I've got a coffee time coming up, so stay tuned. But you think, why would a package die? Because bees go through the winter. Why would a package die? Well, a lot of things are different. A package doesn't have these, usually, for me, they didn't have drawn comb. I was too new. I didn't have that much drawn comb, so it was all undrawn foundation, right? And so they didn't have any stored resources that they overwintered with. There was no comb, nothing. And I can't remember if I was feeding them. I think back then everybody used entrance feeders in the front. Is that a Boardman entrance feeder? And so we were feeding them 1-to-1 sugar water. But here's the deal. When you do that, and it's so cold, I didn't know that back then, but when it's so cold outside and you put an entrance feeder in, those bees that were in that package, they cluster because it's so cold, there's no comb, no food. They're clustering up higher in that hive, and the food is way down here outside the hive. The Boardman feeder goes onto the bottom board, sits on the bottom board. Yeah, no food. So they're going to starve out. And then the queen, the other problem was, the queen was in her own cage. Back then, it's called a Benton 3-hole wooden cage. And those cages, they had 3 or 4 attendants in there. And the queens, sometimes in those clusters, they didn't stay warm enough, or they weren't fed well enough or something, but they had 20 queens that died. So I called the company back up. I was pretty naive back then. And I said, hey, I got 40 packages from you guys, and 20 of my queens died. Now, I've always been as honest as I can be. And I said, do you think the fact that it got down to 11 degrees last night had anything to do with it? And of course, they took the bait and said, absolutely. They're wanting to get rid of it's kind of like, who do we blame? Let's blame the beekeeper. So yeah, you're an idiot. And I probably was, okay? I didn't argue with them. I said, oh, that's too bad. Okay, I didn't know that. Shoot. So I said, how do I get more queens? Well, they didn't have any. It's hard to get queens when people are putting all their queens in packages. And I don't remember what I did. Maybe I consolidated them and anything. But last night here, it got down to 11 degrees below zero. 11 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not the wind chill factor. That's not what it feels like. It felt like horrible. 11 below zero solid Fahrenheit. Oh my gosh. It was so cold. I just feel so sorry for our bees going through winter like that. And I've learned over the years that there's a lot of things that we need to do. Need to learn about bees, and it's hard when you're starting. I never want to blame new beekeepers, okay, really. I think a lot of times we joke, and there are people that poke fun at new beginners. That new beginner did this silly thing, that stupid thing. That's just, what a rookie mistake, right? And, we all were new. There's not one beekeeper out there that was born with a hive tool in their hand. That'd be painful for the mother. None of them were born knowing about bees. All of us, we all had to start knowing nothing, right? And people made exceptions when we were not really knowing what we were doing. So I'm kind of more chill, I guess, than I used to be. You get chill in a lot of areas when you get older. And I kind of want to be that person that supports new beekeepers and not make them feel awkward, like an idiot. Oh, you already feel stupid, right? Have you ever had a time when you just felt stupid? Really, it's a thing that I heard somebody say this one time, and that is, they said, sometimes in life you just have to pay stupid tax. I don't remember who said that. Was that Dave Ramsey that said that? He's a financial advisor. Anyway, a stupid taxes mean you kind of waste money, or you waste your time or your equipment because you did something dumb. Well, look, I don't think that stupid tax is without its advantages. We all have made mistakes, and we say, oh gosh, I'm never going to do that again. And you learn your lesson, and so you're better off for it. So stupid tax, it does come back to kind of help you out a little bit. But I want you to know that all of us that our beekeepers, no matter what level we're at, I'm a certified master beekeeper with the Eastern Apicultural Society. I still make mistakes. I still fail at beekeeping. In certain aspects of beekeeping, I'll have momentary failures where I'll think, oh, that didn't go the way I was hoping, and well, that was a failure. And how do you deal with failure? I think a lot of people wrestle with failure to the point where you blame yourself, and sometimes when you fail, your ego gets wounded, and that's a tricky part too. Because in beekeeping, a lot of people attribute, I guess, their failures to themselves personally. And here's the thing about beekeeping too: a lot of beekeepers, a lot of people in general. I don't know if I'm that way, maybe, but we're all a little bit controlling. We like to have things under control. I want to control things, right? Beekeeping does not so much allow you to control everything. And that's what's really hard in beekeeping. You think, okay, I'm coming out of spring, everything looks good, woohoo, and my bees made it, yeah, and all at once, you don't realize that there's a lot of mites in there, the viral destructor, and they're growing. You don't realize that there's swarm cells in there and they're developing. And all at once, your hive swarms and you didn't expect it. It happened when you were at work and you don't know it, but you go out there and think, well, they look smaller. Are they a little smaller than I remember? I don't have a queen anymore. What's going on? And then a month later, you didn't realize you had a high number of viral mites, and the hive can fail. It can fail in the summertime or in the fall. And I heard a lot of people say this year that bees fell in the fall. And I wanted to show you this box. So oh, by the way, if you're new to my channel, thanks for watching. This is Bobblehead David. And he's here to ask you guys, not tell you, but ask you to please subscribe to my channel. We're past 158,000 subscribers. Never thought it'd be possible. Thank you guys for subscribing. Some of you watch on TV. A lot of you say you watch on Apple Fire Stick TV, whatever that's called, or Comcast, something, and you can't subscribe to my channel, but appreciate you watching. So this box here is a failure box. And last year, Pat, my videographer and friend, and I took this box off because it was failing. And you can see, if I can try to get it in focus. Oh, I should bring my other camera out here. All right, got my other camera going now. That'd be better for you guys. It's a lot of work to put two cameras on a scene like this because in the edit room, it doubles the work time. It really does. It's a lot of work, but I like to do it for you guys. Anyway, Patrick and I took this box off last summer. You can see, let's take it to the other camera. Right in the corner there, you can tell that how it's separated there. And it did that, I think, yeah, both sides, like here and back here. And so bees were coming in and out. And we were afraid that there would be robber bees that could make it in there. So we had to do something. We just took it off and replaced it. Now, if you know me, I've told you guys I've got a lot of equipment that I inherited or got from other beekeepers, commercial beekeepers, and they were badly used when I got them. And this is one of those. Sometimes they have somebody's name on them. But you can tell this has been painted over the years. There's no telling how old this box is. And I know when I made another video about repairing these kind of boxes, a lot of you had great ideas. It was really amazing how so many of you told me I should use some kind of bonding material, bond things, and it was pretty. And somebody said, you should cut off, an 1.5 inches or 2 inches all the way around, and then you can build a whole nother piece and put it on top of that. And those are all great ideas. Some of the problems is that you might get into your handle. If you go, you're going to have to maybe stay above the handle if you decide to cut, this section off and put a new one in. In this case, this box is actually the box joints. You can see how the box joints are what are they called, finger joints, where they kind of overlap into each other. Not my preferred method, but I know it's a kind of a standard way that a lot of people like it. But anyway, I thought maybe that I could just take I think I have, back in the shop over there, I think I have, a big clamp. And I think I could take my clamp and actually bring these two pieces in right here that are bowed out. That's what the problem is, they're bowed out. Sorry that's not in focus. But it's just this piece, you can see, if I can get it just right, it kind of curved. And it's curving like, whoop, pulling out. So it looks like somebody may have not nailed that. Again, I didn't build this. I got it from somebody else, but I don't think there's a nail there. So the problem is if there's no nail in this little top piece here to hold it into this section, it's just going to fall out. But this is the time of year where I keep looking at equipment. Yeah, it's on the bottom too, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, there is a nail on the bottom. Do you see that? There's a nail sticking out. Looks like a little finishing nail. That's weird. A finishing nail. Sometimes, yeah, this looks like it has finishing nails all in it. Now, if you use glue, I get it, but I want a screw with a big head on it to hold this baby together. So pretty dry wood, but I think what I'll do as I share with you guys today, I think I'll clean this box up and I think I'll try to put my big furniture clamp and bring it back together and screw it together. The problem is there's so much propolis down in here, it'd be hard to get some good wood on there, or glue. I'd like to glue this area, you know, let some glue bite in there, but boy, that's going to be tough getting an area back down to wood because bees have propolized that opening, but we'll try. So anyway, let's get back to failure. I told you that I failed with those 40 packages, but I was only a 50% failure. 50% made it, so I only failed halfway. So failure has a lot of good things about it, if you stop and think about it. All the things that I have learned to do better resulted, usually, I shouldn't say all, most of them resulted or were caused from things that I couldn't do right or perfectly the first time. And so I kind of failed at it and I kept doing it. Like when I told you guys I was a runner, and I actually, you know, coaches in junior high, they see somebody like me that's 6'2" as a junior higher, and you know they want to make you do sports, right? Anyway, they wanted me to do hurdles. I don't know if you know what hurdles are. Oh my gosh, you got to jump over these miniature fences that are stuck out in the way. Who puts that out in the way? And then you got to, and I'm watching some of my friends show me how to do it, and they're not jumping correctly, and then they just catch their foot on it and they crash into the. Back then we had that ground up cinder now the tracks are like, they're like if you fall down, you just bounce back up. They're made out of stuff that doesn't hurt you, I think. But back then you just fell into like ground up hot lava rock that had cooled off. And you would be like digging out rocks out of your kneecaps, you know? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. So some of my friends couldn't hurdle. They were trying to show me how to do it. And then they were just dying trying to jump over them. And then the coach was like, do it this way, do it better, plan your jump. You're jumping too soon, you're jumping too late. And I thought, oh my gosh, I can't stand the thought of catching my foot on the hurdle and then crashing, right? But I tried that a few times and I was a failure at hurdles. I really was. Yeah, I didn't want to do hurdles. And so then the coach found the right spot for me. You know, he said, well, what you need to be is a long distance runner. Well, back then they called it I think they called it the 880. Yeah, twice around the track. What is it now, 800 or something? But yeah, I had to do the 880 2 times around the track. And I was good at that. I set the school record. I was like, you know, I'm a small fish. What's that phrase? Let's say I'm a small fish in a big pond. Big fish in a small pond. Yeah, I didn't have much competition. But in my little junior high, I set the record back then. I don't remember what it was now, but I was pretty fast on my feet. But it took me a lot of times of failing before I got better at anything. So I wish we could laugh at our failures and disassociate our ego, you know, our self-worth from the times that we fail. I hear so many people that when they fail, they say things like, oh, I'm such an idiot. And I just don't like to hear people say that. You're not an idiot. And I think you know, how would you talk to your best friend if you guys were together and they did something like you just did? You wouldn't say, you're an idiot, you're so stupid. You know, but why would you say that to yourself? Treat yourself like you would your good friend. Be nice to yourself. That's what I think. So I'm really curious if we can draw this in with that furniture clamp and see if we can draw that in. You know, by the way, we have a live stream coming up this Thursday, and I'm pumped and excited. I'm starting a series on how to raise your queens. Dr. John Zavishlak and I wrote a book years ago on how to raise quality queens. And it'd be good if you got that book ahead of time. You can get the free version. I'll leave a link right here or in the description below where you can download the PDF and print it off, or you can buy one from our website if you want the hard copy. It's a booklet. I don't know how many pages, but it's not a big book or anything. But we went step by step, full color if you get the book, and it shows you how to graft, how to get your starter hives going, and kind of get things all lined up for raising queens. That might help you if you're really getting into queen ring, do that. and I'm going to get my furniture clamp over here. I love raising queens. I used to think that I'd have more fun making honey because, you know, everybody loves harvesting your honey, but man, is it fun raising queens. Oh my gosh. And raising queens, a lot of times we think we're doing it, and we kind of are, but I'll tell you the best thing you can do for beekeeping, for you to learn beekeeping better, is if you could actually comprehend, understand that the bees actually do what they're supposed to, and we aren't really in control of our bees like we think we are. No, we're not. So queen ring, it's when you decide that you're going to let bees do what they naturally do in the spring, and you're just going to be there to let them do it in different boxes on your schedule. That's what queen ring is. I have 3 coats on. It's not bad out here, but like I said, it was -11. I think it might be up to 0 now. So I feel like I need to wear these 3 coats. This shop, I'm redoing the shop. Haven't figured out the heat yet in here. Leave a comment. What do you guys think? What kind of heat system should I use out here? How big is it? Gosh, I measured it. I don't remember how big it is. I'm going to say 1,000 square feet maybe in here. And it's well insulated. That's one of the things we did. We took the wall boards down. We had to run a few squirrels and wild animals out of the attic and sealed off holes and all, but it's sealed off good. So I've been thinking about electric, because I do have solar panels that could power it. And then I thought about gas. I like the idea of gas because it's faster to heat it up. You know, have one of those big square gas furnaces that just sits up in the corner and blows out. And then I could have radiated, like, I think I've had that before. It's like a big thing like this, and it can be hooked to gas, or I use propane out in the country, and then it turns red and it kind of radiates heat out there. I think I'm probably going to be better off to use gas than electric. So leave a comment. What do you think? How have you found a way to do that? All right, so bring it light out. So let's see if we can just pull this in with this clamp. Boy, these clamps are old. We used these when we were making hives. All right, I like this long one here. Better do it this way since I'm right-handed. I can use both hands. I broke my arm once, and I learned to use my left hand pretty good. Oh, let's see if that's sucking in there. Let's put the camera right there. I just want to see if I can pull it. Oh, I can. Now, I thought maybe it would break or something, though, and shear it off. But the problem is, if I do this, my clamp is covering where I want to put a nail. That's going to actually work. That's sealed off nice. So I think I'll move my clamp a little bit to the west now, where I'll expose a place where I could put a screw in there. I know a lot of you know a lot more about types of nails and types of screws to use here than I do. And a lot of you are like, stainless steel, galvanized, this kind, that kind, blah, blah, blah. Look at me, I'm an old man. I could glue that and I could glue it and just hold it there and it would outlast me. But I get it. I don't know. I'm going to use what I have nearby in the shop. I know I have some 1.5-inch drywall screws. Somebody's saying, no, don't use a drywall screw. They'll rust. Oh, it'd be horrible for you. Maybe. I'm just going to do it anyway because I think I can pull that off. I think I should pre-drill it. So let's do that. Let's pre-drill, put a drywall screw, glue it, put a drywall screw in it, and see what happens. Pre-drilling probably isn't necessary, but I'm already a little bit afraid of that wood being so old. Yeah, that's going to work out pretty good, I think. Yeah. Let me see my dry. Yeah, I'm going to use a 7/64. That's in case somebody says, oh, I love what you did. What size drill did you use? And then I'll be like, I have no idea. So I looked to find out. 7/64 drill bit. All right, let's put a little hole right there. Now I'm trying to do this and get some scenes in camera, so that's why it's taking a little bit longer. Wow, that was pretty hard to go in there. That's strange. I thought it'd be easy. All right, we got our like pilot hole drilled. Now let's try to get that screw in there. Oh, we got to glue it, don't we? Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Somebody's like, he doesn't have his glue. Oh no, don't do it. You're right. I forgot my glue. Here we go. Got some glue. I like to keep equipment running, and I am using this winter especially since I never really had a shop like this. This shop was used for something else, and I couldn't work out here. So now with this option here, I can bring boxes in, and I've been working over things that need repaired. It's really nice. I'm doing it like for fun more than anything, but I do need the boxes. This is a honey super, yeah. And so what kind of glue am I using here? It's just some exterior Tight Bond 2, which is better than Tight Bond or Tight Bond 1. I don't know. It's Tight Bond 2. And I know there's Gorilla Glue. I know there's all these, people are going to tell me what kind of glue. That's a great thing about YouTube. If you want to find experts out there, people that are geniuses, just make a YouTube video. They're going to show up on your channel and they're going to leave comments and tell you what you're doing wrong, what I should have done differently. I really don't care. I'm going to do it my way anyway, no matter what you tell me, because this is here in the shop, okay? Sometimes you go with what's available. I'm not going to get in my truck and drive. I have to drive about 40 miles, 40 minutes to the local Menards or Lowe's. So I'm going to go with what I have, people. All right, so let's get that started in my pilot hole. And now let's draw it back together again. Yeah, I've really enjoyed life. Have you enjoyed life? I know that some of you are going through some hard times and difficulties because you've told me on my channel. Sorry about that. Life is hard for all of us. We have different degrees of pain and suffering, but pain and suffering happens to us all. None of us like it. Most of us just want to be left alone. I gotta get a shop towel. Most of us want to be left alone so we can do our thing, right? And then all at once we have issues that come up, health issues or family issues, job issues, and it just makes things hard to deal with. I get it, I know. All right, so there it is. What do you think? My dad taught me that when you screw it together, you should leave the clamp on. I kind of think if I screw it, the screw is going to hold it. Yeah, I think I'll just let the screw hold it. Leave a comment if that works. You're an idiot. You should have left the furniture clamp in. What are you thinking? Ooh. Ooh. Let me feel. Money. That dog a hunt. That's good. I've always said that. When something goes well, I say, ooh, that dog will hunt. I'm from the South. I am. I like that. Yeah. Boy, this thing's going to be great. I'll give it a good coat of paint, pull all the staples out of it from insulation I put on there. All right, so let's take this off, see if it falls out or stays put. I think it stayed put. All right. Now, there's a problem with the bottom right there. Same thing, yucky. That doesn't look good at all, does it? I'll show you. You see that? All right, so what we're going to do, yeah, I think you guys are right about adding some bonding material, Bondo or something, whatever you call it. You can fill up bad pieces of wood like that. That's good to do. I wonder if glue would probably help fill that hole, wouldn't it? Let it dry, fill the gap up. Not familiar with the bonding material you guys told me about. I'll have to look that up. I've just never tried to repair really bad off boxes. Never just thought I didn't think it would really be valuable to do that. All right, got some glue all around there now. How are your bees doing this winter? I know it's been cold for all of us. I'm just curious if some of you are worried about your bees. Are you making any progress of feeling like your bees might make it? Pilot hole about right here. It's rotted as that is, pilot hole is not needed. I almost need a big screw. I wonder if I should go with a bigger screw to get in away from that rot. Let's do that. A 4-inch screw. That would take me way into that wood. That's insane, but let's try it. Be interesting. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it got some good wood in there. Wow, it's like a screw 4 inches long in there. Brilliant. That's crazy. That'll do it. That gets me beyond the rot. Let's put a little more glue in that open wound, the big hole where it's rotted. And I'll look into that Bondo stuff. All right, that's one side. So in other words, we've repaired this side. Let's just rotate on around and see what they all look like. You know, they all could probably use some help. So this is far from a perfect box, but I think that's a good opportunity to talk about. We're talking about failure. We've all had moments where we failed at something and it didn't feel good. But we've also learned that life isn't perfect and it doesn't go perfectly all the time. I think what's really sad is when you have an enemy or somebody that just kind of doesn't like you. They want you to fail. I don't know why anybody would be that way. But I've known people that want to see, they're jealous or something, and they enjoy watching people fail. I think that's really sad. But some people are like that. Yeah. The good thing about getting glue on your fingers, if you wait long enough, you can just peel it off like a bad sunburn. These two corners are square and tight. These are, I screwed everything square and tight. Voila, that is so cool. Golly, that's a good feeling to kind of restore something. Isn't it a good feeling when you can kind of bring something from a bad state back to a decent state? Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be speaking in North Carolina in March the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th, something like that. 6, 7, and 8, I think. And I'm going to be speaking there. They're combining the North Carolina Conference, State Conference, with the South Carolina State Conference. So it's going to be a big event. I'm looking forward to it. Not that far away, actually. So you might want to check that out. So I think I have 3 talks that I'm giving at this conference, North and South Carolina. I've spoken at North Carolina before, a couple of years ago. Looking forward to being back there again speaking. And had a Zoom meeting with the Bee Club last night. Got another Zoom meeting with the Bee Club in a few more days. So I stay pretty busy speaking. And I know some of you are already asking me if I can speak at your location, your place. Thank you for the honor of asking me. And I'll do my best to make it. I am limiting how many times a year I'm speaking. And I think I've told you that before. I've just got so many projects, not only in honeybees, but projects here on the farm, here on the homestead that I'm working on that I need to complete as well. All right, we got some final touches to put on the box here. We're just going to look it over good. We'll paint it as well. This is the bottom of it. So we've got it all kind of secured pretty good. And let me just double check. Yep, it ain't bad. But look at those big cracks in it. Look at that. I think what we'll do is put some good filler in there and before we paint it. But I'm going to try to run this box some more. It's funny about this box. I don't know if you can take a look at it, but like this side here, the front, it has been painted, but the paint's gone off. It was red. And this side here, it was white, and the paint's not bad. This side here was white and yellow, and it's gone. So that probably faced the sun more, I think. So the yellow paint, I remember this box, I think. I have to look back in my videos. I think I remember this one from, what year was that? I don't know, but it was a lot of years ago. I had a yellow hive that I painted yellow. And this is a nice white side here. So the sides are, yeah, is that right? The sides are holding up good. There you go. Yeah, the sides are good, but the front and the back have taken the most hit. That's weird, isn't it? All right. Thanks, guys, for joining me in the shop. I hope this has been encouraging. I hope you've enjoyed just hanging out with me. Maybe got a little bit of encouragement not to be so worried about failing. We all have moments where we just don't do it right. We're not perfect. It's okay. Cut people some slack, all right? I'll cut you slack. You cut me some slack. We're not perfect. I've never said I was perfect. So don't be so hard on yourself. If you're getting started in the spring and you haven't really spent a lot of time understanding honeybee biology, I just made a video for you guys. It's going to be right over here. Honeybee biology. Watch this video. See you guys over there.